Mirage is one of my favorite heroes to play in Deadlock. With his skill set and ability to control lanes, dish out damage in teamfights, and ability to put almost unrivaled map pressure, his playstyle allows for strategic positioning and execution, which is really engaging and rewarding. His ability to turn losing teamfights into winning ones, take advantage of bad positioning from the enemy team, and a get-out-of-jail-free card allows for very smooth coordination with your team in order to win games. I'll go over his abilities, considerations for his playstyle and how to take advantage of misplays, and then finally with some item considerations and how you can adjust your builds to different team comps. Let's get into it. So going over his abilities, Fire Scarabs is Mirage's first ability, and after recent changes has turned Mirage into a solo lane destroying nightmare. This ability allows you to not only steal life from opponents, but also reduces their bullet damage resistance. When activated, you will gain the ability to shoot off 4 skill shots, which will steal hit points over a 4-second period and give you those hit points, as well as giving the enemy negative bullet resist for 18 seconds. What changed recently is the ability to reapply the lifesteal to a max of 4 seconds, which at best can give you 12 seconds of lifesteal over an opponent continuously being hit by your scarabs. You can also spread this effect out over multiple opponents, which is especially useful in team fights and in dual lanes. Using these in jungle camps early can also allow you to farm quicker, which you should be doing because of Mirage's low attack speed and damage early. The ability can be upgraded at level 1 for a cooldown reduction, which is necessarily in lane to maintain damage and hit points. At level 2, the bullet resist reduction is improved, and at level 3, the amount of lifesteal is increased by 80. The health stolen starts at 90 HP per 4-second period, and scales with Spirit at a ratio of 0.9 hit points per Spirit point. Now, let's move on to Mirage's most versatile ability. Tornado is Mirage's second ability and has incredible versatility in being able to initiate as well as get out of sticky situations. When activated, it will instantly propel you forward and lift any enemies hit along its path. This allows you to lock down enemies trying to escape, initiate onto enemies, save teammates, and otherwise cause disruption in team fights, allowing yourself and others to take advantage of the ability. It can also be used to escape from bad situations around corners, which is aided by an additional benefit of bullet evasion, which will last for a short period of time after you come out of the ability. While inside the tornado, Mirage is untargetable, which allows you to dodge damage from things like Beambot Bomb, Wraith Ult, or any other projectiles that you can dodge in the game. When used correctly, it can single-handedly win engagements throughout the game and keep you alive longer than most other heroes, which is why generally I have the lowest deaths across the lobby whenever I'm playing Mirage. For upgrades, at level 1, it will slightly increase the lift duration. At level 2, it will reduce the cooldown, which is another necessary upgrade to get as soon as possible, and at level 5, it will improve the bullet evasion. However, I wouldn't really recommend taking this last upgrade before upgrading your other abilities, because I've noticed the bullet evasion not really making a difference in whether I win a fight or not, and even when I'm playing against Mirage, I haven't really seen it save him in those situations either. Damage is negligible at 70 base hit points, and scales at 0.7 damage per spirit point. Now, let's get into Mirage's bread and butter passive. Jin's Mark is Mirage's third ability, and it's a passive which activates whenever your bullets hit an enemy. It starts by building stacks, which over time will proc, causing damage depending on how many stacks you've built up. These stacks are based on a multiplier, starting at 1x, going to 2x, 4x, 8x. When upgraded to the max level, 12x, the base damage of the ability. There's a cooldown that you need to wait for before applying more stacks, which is indicated by a purple crosshair symbol on the enemy that you're shooting at. When you see this, you only need to land one shot until the next crosshair shows up. This will add a proc stack. When you reach the max stacks, the damage will automatically proc, whether that's 8x or 12x, depending on how much you've upgraded the ability. However, you can activate the ability to proc the damage early if needed. This is insane because it allows you to activate the passive at any time to proc items like Quicksilver Reload and Surge of Power for their extra bonuses at any time, allowing you to get 30% fire rate and +2 movement speed when you have both items combined onto this ability. This capability, as well as the damage that comes out of this ability, allows Mirage to become a rapid-firing right-click king in later stages of the game. It also allows you to kill enemies before they can get healing off, and deny things like healing right in lane if they retreated after you've just gotten a stack on them. The damage at base is a measly 12, but this scales at a rate of 0.6 damage per spirit point. For upgrades, at level 1, whenever you apply a stack of 2x or higher, it will apply movement slow for 0.5 seconds. At level 2, it will add 10 base damage as well as increase the window to build the stacks by 4 seconds. This extra time will allow you more opportunities to set up additional stacks, which is crucial in lane with the measly amount of ammo and long reload time that Mirage has at base. At the max level, this will reduce the time between multipliers, like I said before, add an extra stack layer to a max of 12x the base damage. An added bonus to this ability is when activated, it will reveal enemies on the map for 3 seconds, allowing you to gain vision of them and punish them with Mirage's final ability, his ultimate. Mirage's ultimate ability, Traveler, allows you to teleport to any ally or enemy you can see on the map after a short channel, which gives you bonus attack speed and move speed. The recent patch changes, it now at level 2 will give those benefits to either the ally you teleport to or to the closest ally within 30 meters of the enemy you teleport to. This ability rounds out Mirage's kit in a way which can allow you to put massive pressure anywhere on the map, because at any point, Mirage can be there in a matter of seconds with increased firepower, at the cost of a long 145 second base cooldown. At level 1, it will grant an extra 2 meters a second of move speed. At level 2, like I said, the bonus will be shared with your ally. And at the final upgrade level, Mirage will be given Unstoppable for 3 seconds, which makes it so that you're unable to be stunned, silenced, slept, rooted, or disarmed, which again will also benefit the ally that you teleport to. With his abilities explained, I'd like to go into some nuance that comes with how you should best capitalize on them in the laning stage and throughout the match. Like I alluded to, one of the biggest things to consider in lane is to conserve your ammo and position yourself so you can continue to build stacks with Jin's Mark. The early levels on this are difficult to build stacks on because if you have to reload, you only have a small window of time to land subsequent shots to build more stacks. This is why reaching level 2 on Jin's Mark, which not only increases the damage, but gives you more time for follow-up shots, is such an important and potent power spike for Mirage in lane. Once you reach that point, your kill potential in lane will increase because your ability to build stacks will be that much easier. One thing that's great about Mirage is that he can focus on last hitting creeps, shoot once or twice at an enemy, continue last hitting, and still do great poke damage against his lane opponent with his passive. Most of the time, the opposing player isn't paying attention. They don't realize they're taking around 200 damage when the level 2 8x proc hits. This can be advantageous because they can think that they are max health with a 4x proc. You can lift with Tornado, Scarab, then hit them for an 8x, continue to shoot them. And the fact of the matter is, most heroes just cannot sustain that amount of damage that early in the game. Even then, I've seen people who survive with a quarter health and continue the last hit, stay in lane, where I will hit them with an 8x stack from behind their tower instead of them going back to base to heal. If you can take advantage of it, you'll have already killed your opponents before they even realize that they've just taken fatal damage from that one shot you just took at them. Unfortunately, a lot of this relies on misplay / mispositioning of your opponents in order to build up stacks. But you should keep this in mind, and you should be thinking about your positioning in terms of baiting people to dive you. Heroes like Infernus, Shiv, Abrams, which will most likely be obliged to charge right into you, only for you to lift, hit scarabs on them, and you get the picture. His ultimate has the potential of being a game-changing ability. Not in the way Lash or Dynamo ult can be, but winning a team fight here, saving a walker there, even saving a teammate who's pushed solo into 2 or 3 other people adds up in the grand scheme of things. His ult also allows for an unparalleled map pressure. For instance, let's say there's an urn fight going on the other side of the map. Their whole team is moving over to contest. You can continue to push your lane, get an objective, then quickly TP in and join the team fight, tipping the balance in your favor. Let's say your team just got done with the team fight, but you have a split pusher threatening an objective. You can TP back while your team works on another objective, or in most cases, it'll just go back to farming. Communication with your team is crucial. Are you joining a fight? Are you going back to stop away from pushing so you can TP into the next fight? Are you helping someone who is running away from the other team? Hop on comms, ping, whatever you have to do, because the channel isn't generally long enough for people to understand that help is on the way. In this next section, I'd like to talk about item and ability builds. Most of the items revolve around either increasing your weapon damage or improving your Jin's mark. I find Ricochet synergizes really great with his passive, allowing you to put stacks on multiple enemies in team fights. But when you need to buy it, depending on the build, is difficult to gauge. You may want to buy other items to do more damage earlier in lane. I've been buying items like long range or spirit damage items like improved bursts earlier, depending on what build the other team is going for. You generally want to get Ricochet before 15 minutes, which allows you to transition into the post-laning stage and keep up with farming a lot better. Mirage struggles early with clearing camps and relies on kills, objectives, and creep waves to really flash farm until he either gets a critical mass of weapon items or builds Ricochet. With Ricochet, boosts your team fighting damage, like I said, and it also opens up opportunities for items like Toxic Bullets, Mystic Slow, or any other right-click effects that you want to put on your attacks. As you can see, my build isn't exceptionally detailed. I don't have a very strict ability order that I go into, other than knowing the important parts of each of the abilities, like the cooldown reductions on Scarab and Tornado, and knowing when to get those, as well as maxing the passive first will boost the damage potential early. I've not really been upgrading the ultimate very early. I find a lot of the time that just the base level, and now that there's no cooldown reduction, there isn't really a point in maxing it. Although I can see a situation where if you are exceptionally behind, giving that extra fire rate to a teammate and getting it to level 2 quicker might help in the long run. It's just a little side note, but my headcanon is that he was an admiral in the Egyptian Navy whose life was saved by the Jinn Shala. Basically told him to get as far away from water as possible, and that's why he wants Wyoming so bad. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope to do more hero tutorial videos in the future. Let me know if you have any suggestions or things you'd like to add in the comments. I stream on Twitch a few days a week, and you can find that down in the description. And I would really appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe to my channel to get more Deadlock content. Thanks.